So this is going to be a trade recap on how I made $1,500 today. Not trading New York session. I actually took my trade over here in Asia session last night. So technically, I made my money last night. We can see here executions on. Unfortunately, did not hold this down to the new day opening gap. Looking back, obviously I should have. I should have known this at the time, but I was low key just like, it's like 8 o'clock. I'm just kind of chilling low key, and I want to get off. Also, I had some evals that I was trading, and with consistency rules. So just got out there at the LRL in the 1 hour gap. But we'll go over this trade first here. So this is Asia session. If we drag this over here. So obviously Asia session, super obvious here. We had this big new day opening gap. Obvious draw on liquidity, super simple, super easy. So there's our high time frame draw. And then we had all this LR right here leading down to this 1 hour gap. Now I did take this. I did not alert this in my Discord, so it was Asia session. Free Discord link is in the description for that. I will be doing like a daily bias post and like maybe some trade ideas in the free Discord. I also live streamed there this morning where I ended up not taking any trades, obviously, because I took my win in Asia session and New York session was not ideal today, but we'll go over that as well. But yeah, make sure you guys go check out that Discord link in the description. Also go check out my Instagram. I post a lot of educational stuff on there as well. So simply coming into Asia Open here, we had already tapped into this 30-minute gap right here, this 30-minute BPR. If you don't know what a BPR is, it's basically it stands for balanced price range. So basically just like bearish and bullish gap overlap. So we can see you have like this bullish gap right here, and then this bearish gap right here overlap. So this is a BPR, super strong draw on liquidity, or super strong key level. It's better than just a regular fair value gap. It's a super strong level of a level of price or whatever price level. So yeah, we did come in and take out this early. We also had a high on the 5-minute. If we come back over to this gap, we can see we had this high right here. If I can grab this, we had this high right here. So this high was inside of the gap. So we also ended up sweeping out this high, giving us a good protected high to take a trade off of, and then we actually ended up sweeping out this high again here, so got a little stop on there, which made it even more protected. We then got this super clean V-shape 3-minute IFVG, which is the highest inversion in the leg. I made a video on this on my Instagram if you guys want to check it out, but this is literally like the perfect setup, right? We have everything we need, and it's super obvious, right? We have a protected stop loss, low resistance liquidity as our low time frame draw liquidity, and then we have the unfilled hourly and the new day opening gap as our high time frame draw. We have everything that makes a perfect trade, and as we can see, this plays out perfectly all the way down to that new day opening gap. And if you held down here, it would have been like a 1 to 6 R. Yeah, like a 1.5 or 5.5 R, whatever. So insane trade. And yeah, Asia price action continues to be incredible, and New York continues to suck. So let's go over to New York. Here is New York session. 9:30 open right here. So coming into the day, I was bullish. We had all this obvious LR right here leading up to London highs. These were London highs up here. London high. So we had that, and then we had a unfilled at daily for value gap way up here, which was like my main draw. Still has not gotten hit, but so I was super bullish coming into the day. Simply just want to see a sweep of a low or an intermediate low. We had these 1 hour intermediate lows here. We did also have a discounted 30-minute gap, which I wanted to see get manipulated into as well, way down here. This would have given me extra conviction. Coming into the day, though, we also had this 15-minute intermediate high here, which is something to point out as well. But yeah, so coming into the day, we had all these key levels here. I wanted to see, obviously, dream scenario, manipulate down, obvious inverse to the upside. When we kind of get that here, we get this. Yeah, so we manipulate into this 1 hour gap. You could have taken like maybe a 30, not really, is there a 15? I mean, I guess you could have taken like, yeah, not even. No, there wasn't even a 15-second. So this trade is invalidated, obviously, because we hit the internal high. I did see some people take this anyway, just because of all this low resistance. But after we just took out this high, like I would have just waited. I would have wanted to see something like this and then a continuation, or like this, a continuation higher, rather than just trying to take this. I feel like it's almost like a FOMO trade. Like you know, you get FOMO'd in by the fucking big candle and you want to take it all the way up to there. Not the worst trade in the world, but invalid for me because it did hit the internal high. So then price does end up coming down and sweeping out this 30-minute gap. This is where we also get an SMT with ES. Add these 4-hour intermediate lows down here as ES takes them out and NQ doesn't. So at this point, you know, we had a super protected low. There's no reason for price to go any lower. Well, I was looking for prices higher at this point out of any really gap or inversion. There was this gap here. I said in my live stream I would not have taken this if it did trigger. It didn't end up triggering, but even if it did, it's still not a good trade because there was no generated liquidity. So this is a good example of when you do want a stop hunt. So you don't. So since our low is protected, some people are like, oh, I don't need a stop hunt because we already swept out a low inside of a gap, which we did because we swept out this 1-hour intermediate low, and then actually on this 30-minute gap, we also swept out this 15-minute intermediate low as well. But we have no generated liquidity, so this stop hunt gives us our generated high, which is still not like an insane amount of generated liquidity, but it's better than having nothing. And now we can use that as our obvious break-even point when getting our long. And then we have this 1-minute gap. We end up getting a closure above right here. Now I did like this trade. I did not take it again because of I took that win in Asia session, so I didn't take anything this morning. But I did like this trade. I called this out in my Discord on my live. Could have been a break-even trade. I think going break-even here is not a bad decision at all, and it would have ended up getting break-even rated. Unfortunately, right here, I don't know why that came up like that. And this would have been a break-even trade and run full TP. Or if you did not go break-even, I think that is a good idea too, because we did have this 5-minute gap right here, and this rejection block. And we can expect price to deliver straight through this 5-minute gap, you know, maybe get a reaction like it did, but then hold these 1 minutes and continue higher, because this 5-minute gap is just protecting the super high resistant liquidity, and it's attacking the super high resistant liquidity down here, and it's protecting all this LR. Now, technically, again, this one was a little trickier because of this high right here is technically protected because it did take out a high inside of a gap. But with all this LR above it, I don't mind taking a trade towards this because we're using all this LR as our draw. But yes, very well could have been break even, or you could go break even here because after we get the reaction off the 5-minute so we get the reaction down off the 5-minute and then we continue higher, go break even, then new internal high, and then TP at this buy side liquidity right here for a solid 1 to 2.5 R. Or you could have just gone for a 1-to-1 just because of how price action has been this month, and then you wouldn't have gone break even either way. But I think holding up to here is not a bad choice. I do think holding up to here is a little greedy. I don't think it's the worst play in the world if you did do this and end up getting break even. But I hope you like trailed your stop or something, because that is a little greedy. But we should have ran all this pretty easily. But especially with just how price action has been lately, with during August, it's just like, you know, to take your piece of the pie. But that was the only good trade today. There was some other trades I will go over as well. We had this 2-minute. This 2-minute was a terrible trade. You know, we just didn't resweep anything. We had like a 5-minute rejection block or a 15-minute rejection block. We did get this 2-minute. But at this point, this is like, now we're targeting really high resistant liquidity. Because you could say, oh, we have LR, but now we just took out this high inside of the, took out this high inside of a gap. And then we just took out like, and we just filled in these, like this premium gap right here. As you can see, if you go from put an equilibrium of the range, this is a gap inside of premium. So, and then we had a strong reaction out of it. So this became a very high resistant high that you would be targeting, and we had no read manipulation. And at this point, with all its LR, we shouldn't even need to come back down. Price should just price should just distributed straight up through all this LR after this sweep, which it didn't, which is a sign of just bad price action, and this ends up getting wrecked. And then there was this play here, which I don't think this play was terrible, because this, I mean, at this point, this low is just ultra protected, right? It's just been sweeping out lows inside of gaps. So I don't think this play was terrible. This 3-minute here, again, I wouldn't have taken it. It's a negative R too. I don't know if you would have gotten a 1-1 on this. I don't think you would have. Go break even there. Yeah, you would have got break even on this anyway. So, but I just don't like this play just because how bad price action is. I mean, look at, like, if we pull this back to when this entry happened, if we look at the 5-minute chart, or not, what the heck? Okay, it's loading. Look at the 5-minute chart. I mean, definition of barcode price action. Don't want to be trading during this, and we're just whipsawing. We should have seen distribution at this point. We just have no trend, no sense of direction. We're just whipsawing back and forth. Just bad price action, and then for the rest of the day, we just kind of chopped around, and there was nothing notable until later or whatever. Even later, there was nothing good. So yeah, pretty basic day, or pretty shitty day, I guess. But that's just how August has been. Asia will probably be good again, as it has been. So I'll definitely be checking out Asia's session again tonight. But yeah, so if you guys did get caught up in this, learn how to avoid this type of price action, especially, honestly, every day this month, you can just be cautious coming into the day just because of how bad price action has been. It's also earnings seasons, like Nvidia earnings just came out last night, so the price action is bad before that, but we still have like big earnings coming out in the next coming weeks. So that will definitely, could slow price action down. But this trade here was definitely the really only good trade of the day, in my opinion. And obviously it ended up playing out or being a break even. Either way, it was still a good trade. But yeah, so hopefully tomorrow's better. Hopefully Asia tonight is good, and then hopefully tomorrow's better, and hopefully price action just starts getting better. But yeah, if you guys if you guys are trading this, definitely learn when not to trade. I also post videos on my Instagram of when to know and when not to trade and stuff. So make sure you go check that out. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Join the free Discord down below. Follow my Instagram, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.